Are you struggling with EOE and wondering, A, am I ever going to be able to come off the medications they put me on? B, is my heartburn or my EOE symptoms ever going to go away? You're in the right place. This is the video you have been looking for. Let's talk more about this thing called EOE, which is kind of a term that is used a lot now with patients who have GERD, who might have acid reflux, who might have heartburn. This is a term that doctors will use when you have a food allergy that is triggering what are called eosinophils. So the EO in EOE, the EO is eosinophilic, the other E is esophagitis. All right, it's just basically a part of your immune system is reacting to a food allergy. All right, that's kind of what this means, but it's not accurate. And it's what traditional medicine is missing a lot of the times with these type of patients, and that could be your situation as well. So when we're talking about eating a certain type of food and a reaction to that food, you have two different components to your immune system that can trigger this problem. You can have IgE, okay? And now IgE is equal to food allergy. So when you go to the doctor and they say, oh, you tell them, you have this pain, pressure, coughing, mucus, like it feels like almost like a heart attack, but pressure in your chest or heartburn type symptoms, they're gonna run blood work and they might see that the eosinophils are elevated. So then they tell you, oh, you might have EOE. So then they might run a test that looks at IgE. When they do that with blood draw, and they can actually measure the IgE in your blood for certain types of foods, right? And then go down through the list. They may not have done that with you. They might just say, let's just bypass that, send you straight to the allergist. Okay, great. So then to test the IgE, they're going to do a skin prick test. Skin prick test, they put needles with a little bit of, let's say, a gluten molecule, or gluten juice, if you will. They put it underneath your skin, and they see if the skin welts up with inflammation, redness, etc. They might do it with dairy. They're going to do it for all kinds of different foods, including pets, including pollens. They can do this and just put these little pricks all up and down, like little rows on your back. And you see these little red bumps and they raise, or they might not raise. And if there's no reaction, they say, well, you don't have an allergy. They are measuring the IgE component of your immune system. That's it. You have other, what are called immunoglobulins. That's what Ig stands for. Other than E. One that's very important and relates to eosinophils is IgG. There is a relationship to eosinophils based on IgG, not just IgE. So when you go to an allergist, or you go into your primary, or you go to the GI doc and they do the blood draw and they do the skin prick test, if they don't see that you have an actual food allergy that triggers the IgE, they don't believe that you have any food sensitivities. There's no food allergy as defined by the IgE, so foods aren't playing a role. So they might go back to tell you, well, you eat what you're gonna eat. Your diet doesn't really matter. You might ask them, but based on the testing, you don't have any food problems. That couldn't be more wrong if they don't test your IgG. That can also elevate your eosinophils and cause EOE, but the traditional medicine route takes you down a very specific path, and they will not deviate from it. And IgG, I promise you, in another 10 years, these doctors are gonna come around to IgG testing. They're just behind the times. It's just how it goes. And they don't teach the stuff in medical school, so the students that become doctors, they don't learn the new stuff when they're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s like they did when they were in their 20s, and they miss out on the boat. This is coming, and this is what could change your life. IgG testing uses blood. It is a finger prick test, and you can measure your IgG reaction to foods. It's not a food allergy. It is a food sensitivity. And there is a difference. An allergy is something that you might actually feel that symptom right away or within a few minutes to an hour. A food sensitivity, you may not notice it for days, even weeks after you eat that particular food because the IgG takes its time. It doesn't have think of these two differences like your military. The IgE is the Marines. There's an invasion, the Marines go in, they got all the top soldiers, they got all the high-tech weaponry, boom, they go in and they just obliterate things immediately, right? The IgG is the Coast Guard. They're there to back up the IgE. They don't have all the high-tech weaponry. They don't have all the top soldiers, high-end soldiers. They're just there to kind of back things up. They take their time because they have to. They don't have all the tech. That's your IgG. And you can react to a certain food, but not have it be a problem that the Marines see. It's just that the Coast Guard comes in to deal with it because it's a low-end problem. But let's say you have a food in that category that you're not aware of, that you're eating every single day, or if not every day, 3 or 4 times a week. Well, that little IgG, you're just dropping more droplets in the IgG bucket. And there it goes. It's filling up, it's filling up, and it's filling up. And you've been doing this for years. You may have started eating this food when you were a kid. Now here you are in your 20s, 40s, 60s. This IgG has become a problem, and you don't even realize how full your bucket is because nobody's testing it. So we do this test. This is where I can help. We do this as part of our evaluation for our heartburn patients, for patients who are diagnosed with EOE. If you want to run that test, I suggest you go to the link in the description for this video. We want to test this for you to get to the bottom of the problem because they probably put you on medications, they probably put you on PPIs or H2 blockers, and especially if these IgEs are coming up negative, they're just like, you're just going to keep taking these medications for the rest of your life. What? How about we get to the cause of the problem, the root, dig that root out of the ground and kill that problem where the problem really exists. In the link of the description, you can find a link to go and set up a 15 to 30 minute free call with us. We want to find out what's going on with you. Make sure you're a good fit. You probably have questions about what we might do in terms of functional medicine, which is what we do. You can ask those questions, and that's what it's there for. Go there, set up the free call, see if that's something that's going to be a good fit both on our end and your end, and we can go from there. This could be a game changer for you. This EOE stuff and the difference between IgE and IgG. Don't suffer any longer, all right? Take advantage of this free call.